Hey everyone, how are you doing?
So confused for a minute.
Yeah, unexpected things on the weekly SEO as always. Hey everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
All right. Hi, Mehmet. Hi, Tugaycan. All right. So we have 7 people here. I will make a quick introduction to the weekly SEO, and then I will let my microphone to Bushra, our content queen. So welcome back to the weekly SEO. Here's a place where we are sharing our weekly experiences, some SEO tips, and not just about SEO, also content marketing, also about your strategies, SEO news, etc. things. So today is an excited day. I am definitely eager to see what will happen here in today's weekly SEO. So, microphone is yours, Bushra.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Weekly SEO. I'm so happy to be with you here. Today, we have an amazing guest. Diana Richardson from Semrush is here with us. She is the part of the team, the mastermind team behind the amazing Semrush Twitter account. And I'm so excited to have her here. Thank you so much, Diana, being here with us today.
Thank you. Anything for a fellow Women in Tech SEO member.
Yeah, woman power.
Woohoo!
Yes.
At least we're evenly balanced today, boys versus girls. So
yeah, that's good. So Diana, maybe we can share your screen and you can introduce yourself to us. Who's Diana? What she loves?
Oh, oops, hold on. I'm sharing the screen only to myself.
Yep.
That doesn't help anyone. Okay. You get ready to see your vortex selves. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, here is it.
Everything look okay? Because now I can't see
you.
But
yeah, everything's good.
Okay, great. Well, just let me know what you want me to do.
So when we just get into silence, you can change the slide, I guess, for a few seconds. So who are you, Diana? Tell us yourself.
This is the most boring slide of today.
Definitely no, because you have fun facts here.
I do have fun facts at your encouragement. So as mentioned, I am the social media and community manager at Semrush, but I specifically am part of the SEO unit. That is my background. I have been a digital marketer for 15 years, 15 years next month. I can't believe it. I love SEO and social media and digital marketing strategy. I love strategy. I also love wine. I am a wine hobbyist and some Netflix, although I've really been into some of the other streaming services right now. I don't know if you guys watch Handmaid's Tale on Hulu. That next season just came out. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with TV. So here in the US, I have visited over 100 wineries. I'm from Virginia, and I lived right by wine country in Virginia, and then I moved to Texas, where I also moved next to wine country, Texas. So I'm surrounded by wine. So what else are you going to do on a Saturday but go to a winery or two? I did move halfway across the U.S. during the pandemic from Virginia to Texas, and it has been a fascinating year. Over to you guys.
So can we make another webinar to talk about your wineries experience?
Of course.
Yeah. Like 1 hour or maybe it's enough for us.
Absolutely. 1 hour, please. Get a glass of wine in me. We're talking all night.
Okay.
Oh, that wine. Keyword stuff. All right. So my name is Roman Adamita. I am director of SEO at Boostros. I am leading and encouraging the team, which is Bushra, Adam, and 1+ member in our team right now, which is Yunus. That's me.
Hi, everyone. I'm Bushra, and I'm the senior SEO executive of Boostros, and I also call the content queen of Boostros. I'm so happy to be here with you today.
Hello, everyone. I'm Adam, and I'm SEO executive at Boostros agency, and I am also so happy to be here. And that will be really experience-oriented session for everyone. And thank you.
All right. So am I telling us what we're talking about today?
You can
Okay.
start with what you will cover today.
Okay, so my portion and my contribution today is we're going to be talking about SEO opportunities outside of the standard results and taking advantage of those SERP features. So it's kind of something I'm obsessed with right now. And Semrush, we actually hosted a webinar earlier in the week where we talked a lot about SERP features. So it is top of mind. So I want it to be top of your mind too.
Oh.
Well, what are you guys talking about today?
And actually, we will talk about what shouldn't you do in e-commerce that can hurt your SEO and conversions. And that means the big SEO e-commerce failures. There are some fun facts here today.
Okay, well, I'm sticking around for that. Okay, so I'll kick it off. We're going beyond the standard SERP, and I like to say that there's more than one way to get clicks on the SERP, and that is with SERP features. We were talking earlier today too about how Google is kind of creating this one-stop shop experience on the search engine results page, and we have the zero-click experiences and the zero position, and how can we get eyeballs on our websites even if we're not ranking, on the first 10 positions in the standard results, right? So there are a ton of SERP feature opportunities. So the SERP features, if you're not familiar, is everything on the Google page outside of the standard organic results. You can even see in my screenshot that there are actually no standard organic results above the fold. So the SERP features are really taking over. And so that's where you kind of want to be also, even if you're not Donald Glover. I don't know if you guys know who Donald Glover is, but he's a funny guy. So there are some really great ways. Oh, I think I'm missing a little piece of my screenshot here, but that's okay. So you can start this process the same way you would if you were optimizing your website, by starting with your keyword research, but with a little bit of a twist. And you can use our tool, the Keyword Magic tool, to figure out what keywords are triggering certain SERP features, like the FAQ, carousel, PAA, and video, and things like that. So we have plenty of ways to deep dive and figure out what keywords are triggering which SERP features, so that you can, or not triggering the SERP features, so you can optimize and kind of give your website a little bit of an advantage there. So for example, this keyword, this buy books keyword, has 5 additional opportunities to show up other than the standard organic listings, because the keyword phrase buy books is triggering actually it's 6 opportunities, these 4 SERP features, and then also the knowledge panel or the featured snippet and the reviews. So 6 opportunities outside of your standard organic listing is huge. So I'm going to deep dive into a couple of the more prominent types of SERP features. I'm sure you guys are familiar with featured snippets. There are a couple different types of featured snippets, which I can't remember if I go into those or not, but we'll see. They show up usually at the very top of the search engine results page, or like 1 or 2 below. I think it kind of depends on if there's ads there as well. But the featured snippet is a snippet of information that Google is pulling from a piece of content, a piece of your content, to answer a search query. So a lot of the times you see these if you've asked a question: who is the president? What is the weather? Then it comes up and it answers your question. So again, you're not having to leave Google's page to get your answers. So Google's like helping you, and you don't even have to click through to the website. Although if Semrush ever shows up in your featured snippet, I highly recommend you click through and keep reading, because we're great. So some of the things that help you show up for a featured snippet are choosing long tail keywords. So typically someone who is interested, has a question, is trying to figure something out, needs help, needs guidance, is searching or is typing in a query into Google that is more than 2 or 3 words long. So actually you can see here in this data that 10 words, a 10-word query that is, I think, extra long tail, is triggering an abundance of featured snippets. So, you know, when we're doing our keyword research, it's not always about how much search volume there is. Even I'm sure a 10-word query has a very low search volume, but you are being the ultimate resource for that person, and that can increase your conversion rate. Also, target and answer questions. And I love this for a variety of reasons, because now with our content and the way that content and questions have been built into the SEO process, it just is really smart for you to be answering your customers' questions in your content anyways. Try saying that 5 times fast. Wow, I'm surprised I made that through. And you can research, as you're doing your keyword research, questions that people are searching for and answer that specifically in your content. And here I've got a breakdown of what types of questions typically trigger the featured snippet and why questions kind of lead the way there. I'm actually surprised can is number 2, but that's really cool. So as you're thinking about, you know, ways to frame your content and you want to, you know, be part of these featured snippets, start asking why, can, do, and how questions in your content. Also, formatting plays a really strong role in showing up for the featured snippets. So using that structured data, indicating paragraphs, choosing lists, formatting a table, and also videos. So all of that, those are really the 4 major types of featured snippets anyway that I kind of referenced at the very beginning. And by structuring and formatting your content with these different types of information also helps to increase your chances of showing up in some sort of featured snippet. Now, do not have a piece of content with all 4 of those things, because that is overload for your user, for the person trying to digest your information. But I think it gives you a really great way to keep your content a little different every time, and you're not always repurposing the same thing over and over. You know, you can now have a little bit more dynamic energy into the different kinds of content that you're creating. So people also ask, this is a really fun section in Google, and I love it too, because also we were just talking a few minutes ago about answering questions in your content. You can use Semrush to research that, but you can also use the results in Google in and of itself for that because of the PAA section. I love pizza, so that's how the screenshot got into this presentation. So again, what triggers the featured snippets with the PAA? We're back to long tail keywords, and no surprise, 10-word query strings are triggering the featured snippets and the PAA. So don't shy away from these keywords that seem to be a little extravagant, because they're really going to give you a strong benefit in your content and showing up in this particular SERP feature. Also, we're back to answering questions. Answer the what, why, when, where, and questions, because we are talking about a specific section of Google that deals with questions. So again, make sure you're structuring your content with those questions. And here are some of the great, again, like can is like leading the way. Can questions are leading the way with showing up in the featured snippets with a PAA section. Also, I wanted to include this screenshot for you guys too, the PAA text length analysis. So average paragraph length for a PAA is 240 characters and 41 words. So keep your content succinct. You don't want to be, it's great to write long form content, but when you're structuring your content for maybe a PAA opportunity, answer a question, keep it short. The local pack, I think this is one of the more common, and we're very familiar with the local pack. And the local pack has been around for a very long time, but it's still a very important area that we want our presence to be known. So to do that, you want to make sure you're optimizing your content for local search, including hreflang. Hreflang is a tag in the back end of your website in the HTML code that indicates what language this page is. So you can specify English or Turkish or Spanish or whatever, and that really helps the search engines relate this back to people searching in your language and geography, where people speak this language. And regional terms. So, you know, using the term Los Angeles, for example, is great, but we all know the area that we live in, and they might have kind of if you lived there, you would know the common terms. So back where I'm from in Virginia, there's about 7 cities, and they call it Hampton Roads, Virginia. That means really nothing. That's not a city name. That's not our capital. It's, it's just kind of the region's term for those 5 cities. I think in North Carolina, in the United States, they have like the triangle where 3 cities come together. So make sure you're also optimizing for those types of terms, because that really does reiterate your location. Also, local directories, but make sure they are relevant directories, because directories get oversaturated, so they kind of lose their impact. So just really make sure you're choosing specific local directories for your area that you're trying to boost that local presence. And then Google My Business. So the Google My Business, again, is one of those really familiar areas, but I feel like businesses just do not capitalize on it as much as they could. So this is a local ice cream place. It's local to where I lived in Virginia. I was just in Virginia and I went there, so it was kind of top of mind while I was creating this presentation. It's delicious. You can see there's all sorts of details about this business in their profile. They have a description. Oh, and look at that. It's pulling from Wikipedia. That's what we were just talking about, Roman.
Yeah.
Their CEO, how long they've been around, their phone number, founder. I mean, holy moly, like this is just an ice cream shop, and like already it's giving us details about how it's founded, where its headquarters, and it's starting to pull in its menu. So no, I'm not being sarcastic, but use every inch of your Google My Business page that you possibly can, because that, like I had to shrink my screen just to get all of this information in one screenshot. That is how long this Google My Business profile was. So take advantage of it, friends.
Yeah, definitely. And by the way, Diana, we have a question, but before that, let's talk a little bit about Knowledge Panel. Because on Bing, we have Knowledge Panel, which is data. They collect data from Crunchbase, not just Wikipedia. And also Google is collecting data from Wikipedia, but not just Wikipedia, Crunchbase too. So my question is how small businesses can get there if they don't have a Wikipedia page. They should have, right?
Create one, sure. I mean, the screenshot, this company, Brewster's Ice Cream, is not a big company. I know it says they're headquartered in Pennsylvania, but they're, very east coast of the United States. They're a small business and they have a Wikipedia page. So you should too. And I think and Crunchbase and wherever else you can, and on, your Chamber of Commerce and on the BBB, on the Better Business Bureau. All of those places, you should have a credible profile. And the Knowledge Panel really is about all signs pointing to you. And building up that authority, because that's how it's going to differentiate between companies with similar names. If you Google my name, you'll come up with, there's a politician and there's an author. So I've got my work cut out for me trying to show up for my name on the search engines, and businesses are the exact same way. So create as many signals as you can around you and continue to publish your content that is authoritative, that is unique, and building up those backlinks to will all help build a branded search and branded SERP page for you, which does help pull in that knowledge graph, because of all the Google pulls all the signals from everywhere. So if you have those strong signals in place, it puts you in a great position.
Definitely agree with you. And the question, may I ask that if you want right now or after the slides? Which one do you prefer?
Go ahead.
All right. So the question is from Mehmet. He asked how people also ask section from Google is creating by users or AI. I am not sure you are experiencing on that, but my comments on here is Google is collecting data from users, from websites. There is a lot of websites, there is a lot of content in different languages, and Google is trying to figure out what's the best question I can add here and what's the best resource I can include in my people I also ask. So it's also AI, but it's based on users. I don't know. experiences. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a lot of AI data. I mean, it's not. And I think that's how all of the SERP features are pulled. It's pulling from behavior and that. I mean, think of all of the behavior data that Google has, and they're pulling this information to be helpful to you because they've seen someone ask this question and then follow it up with this, or ask something similar, because they have all of that data. So they're pulling from that. In my opinion, I don't actually know because I don't work for Google, or never have. But that's what it seems to be, in my opinion, is that it's pulling from search behavior. Because I mean, if you think about, that's what Google does. That's what their data is about, is search behavior. So they're just formulating it in a different way so you can see the other questions people are Googling related to your question.
Excellent.
That's my thought. That's just my opinion.
That's great. Okay. So right now we don't have any questions yet.
Okay, so site links are also really great because you can take up more space on the search engine results page if you can get 4 of those magic site links to show up. And again, so here's the ice cream place. Clearly ice cream was on my mind when I was creating this. One thing that really, really can help you for the site links is simple and well-planned navigation and creating, that hierarchy. And that's an SEO, foundational element is a strong and clean site structure. And now it's just going to also benefit you with these site links too. So make sure you're not using things like images as links. Make sure you're using clean code that the search engines can follow, as well as your users, because frankly, they're the ones that are buying ice cream from you, not Google. And but it really benefits a website all around to have that strong, clean, simple structure from the very beginning. So here's what a sitemap is also one of the factors that can help with site links. A clean sitemap, one that is error-free, one that is clean, one that is updated, will help you again with those site links. And ensuring you have no broken links. And you can run a test in Semrush. We check that through our site audit tool. And if you have broken internal links, fix them, because that will help clean everything up. That also really helps the user have a nice journey throughout your website, because how frustrating is it when you click on something and you get the 404 page, or you get redirected back to the home page, or nothing happens. Make sure that user experience is nice and efficient too. And you can do that by ensuring your internal link structure and your internal link structure is there, and that they're not anything broken.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
so I think that's all for me.
That's so big.
I'm going to stop sharing now so I can see your faces.
That was so good and fluent. Thank you. And I just wanted to eat ice cream. The branding looks delicious. But I have a question, actually, I want to ask. And I waited for the end of your presentation because it's about estimation. That's the next step of creating a strategy. So these are really useful tricks to create a feature snippet optimization strategy for a brand. We can use them. They are different visibility opportunities, but the problem is that when we create this strategy and when we have to present it to the C-level managers or SEOs, they will also want to see an estimation or its effect on their revenue or traffic. So estimation is an important part. So what do you think about the estimation of feature snippet optimization or feature snippet ideas?
I don't know how you can really predict or estimate the click rate through them. But what you can do is use information around missed opportunities, and you can pull reports. So Semrush does have a report where you can see what keywords are triggering SERP features. And you can also see where your competitors are in those SERP features and where you are not. And so you can kind of use a little bit of a competitor analysis or just an opportunity analysis. Hey, this is a keyword we want to incorporate in the strategy because there are 5 more opportunities to show up on the first page of Google outside of just our organic listings. I don't know how much traffic that's going to bring you, but from a brand perspective, now your brand is just more visible on that first page of Google. And it's so funny. I was just talking to someone yesterday who teaches, And he mentioned that his students didn't even realize that there was a second page of Google, that the first page was it. So, you know, that first page presence is so important because that is where all of our attention is. And if you can gain more, even just brand awareness from being in the people also ask section or answering that question in that featured snippet, that is going to benefit you in the long run, regardless of how many clicks that actually brings. Is brand awareness. And you can't estimate that. I can't estimate eyeballs.
I think the same, by the way, but if it becomes a serious problem, I tend to use Semrush's content gap analysis section and try to attach them with some keywords, a bunch of keywords. They're performing better than us, the competitors performing better than us, and I'm trying to make at least a traffic estimations for them. So well, that's a really hard part.
You can also say, here's why we should invest in more schema. Here's why we should invest in this content restructure, because here's our keywords. This is already part of our SEO strategy. We're ranking, our organic position is great, but we're missing opportunity A, B, and C of these featured snippets, which we could capture if we just restructured this article, if we just restructured the homepage, if we, you know, we just need to put in some time into affecting what we already have, because you can see that it's already contributing, but you can make it better. That's the optimization part of our jobs, right? Like making it stronger and capturing more of those opportunities. So I think you can even use what you already have, because obviously you put thought, you know, and effort into what they already have. So bring it to them like, we can do more. We should invest, you know, this much more time into these strategies to capture more. And then you're really optimizing.
So welcome back, Roman.
I have a question also about actually Semrush. You know, you have feature snippets and this study, like derived lots of data to achieve that study. And nowadays, it's like Semrush is localizing, and they are making some local marketing. And do you think that, or do you have any plan to localize this feature snippet study? Because you know, it's you had like 10 words for feature snippet, but it's in English. You know, sometimes the sentence length is depends on the language option. For example, like Turkish and English, maybe it's Russian, is totally different. Do you have any plan to localize this feature snippet optimization that depends on language?
Let me see. I was going to see if it was already able to be localized, because I can choose different languages. But I can ask. I work with the content team, so I can ask if that study is going to be, or if it's already available. I feel like that's because that's a great piece of content. I feel like it is already localized. But let me ask.
Okay. Thank you a lot.
All right, so shall we start with the what shouldn't you do on your e-commerce website? Or if there is any questions, I can answer.
Actually, we have a question from our newest team member.
Oh, right.
Yeah, from Yunus. He's asking that what should be the word of a feature snippet. So is there a matter of the fact that we should sacrifice top 3 search results for the optimization of a featured snippet? There is a risk for that. Actually, as far as I understand, he's trying to understand that whether there's a
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I don't know if optimizing for SERP features is going to sacrifice your opportunities in the search engines. I mean, you're only making your content or strategy stronger. So you're not making anything junkier or crappier or lighter. Like, you're strengthening this. So I don't know if there is a sacrifice. What I would say is, I think, you know, especially with like new sites that are struggling to get onto the first page in general, I think the SERP feature provides a stellar opportunity to be present on the first page while you're still building that other SEO momentum. But I don't think there's any risk, or not that I've experienced, in optimizing for the SERP features.
I
Good
mean, for me,
question.
yeah, that's a really great question. In my opinion, I guess it depends on how you optimize your page. If you go out of your user intent, if you change something critical while trying to fix for better, then you can sacrifice it while trying to optimize it for future snippets. So we should be careful about the user intent of the page. So what are we intending with this page? Who will visit this page? And optimize it according to that. That's my only answer I can give. But I've never seen a sacrifice for top 3 positions when I optimize for future snippets. But it's really interesting question. It's a really good and mind-tricking question. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Diana, for your contributions. And I am going to start with what we are covering today. The topic is what shouldn't you do in e-commerce that can hurt your SEO and also conversions. And I am not a Star Trek fan. I didn't watch Star Trek yet. I know it's a bit odd, but yeah, I didn't watch Star Trek. So I will start with that slide from, actually, this insight is from Hey Booster, and I am going to share some really powerful insights from Hey Booster. You have a bunch of products, but you are aware which ones aren't sold. There is a report, actually, where you can see that kind of details. For example, you have a lot of organic search views, or for another channel, from social media, from email marketing, or something like that. But these products aren't sold. Why? So you need to check out what's the issue behind this. And it's not just about optimizing your page. Maybe it's just about there is no image of that product. So it's not just about technical structure, for example, page speed. It might be about your UX. So the best, there is a quote actually from our industry, SEO industry, like the best place to hide a dead body is page 2 of Google search results. So here's one of them, actually, which you can use. You get a lot of sections from Google Ads, but not from organic search. So you need to know that you have opportunity to increase your traffic also from organic search, because you get a lot of traffic from ads, because you want to get traffic to that pages, but you pay for that. You pay a lot of money for that, and you may waste a lot of time with your ads. But if there is still issues on your web pages, Google will not treat your pages like you're the best competitors. So you need to know which pages to get traffic from ads or another channels, and you need to know if there is traffic from organic search. So also there is an insight for that. So it's the best to have more clean URLs. More than that, it's the best to track which filtered pages has traffic. There is a lot of e-commerce websites which have traffic for filtered URLs. Or when I enter a website, I can search something from search bar. I can use search bar because I didn't find this category on the page. So I will search for X product, then I will find a product. But if you don't have this category, new users actually will not find you because you don't have this category. So if you don't have a category like that, Google also don't know if you have this category on your website. So that's a standard thing, but you need to know what kind of filtered URLs gets traffic, and then you need to create maybe categories for this one. Another tweet in this weekly SEO is, which I saw today on Twitter from Chris Tweeten. It's about UX. It's not just about SEO, actually, everything. Like I said in my first slide, it's not just about making your website really great optimized, but it's also about your UX, because Amazon is really complex to understand sometimes, but it's the best one because there is a lot of products which you can choose to buy. But at the same time, there's reviews, there's really cool buttons, I don't know, there is emails from there. And what I want to say here is like make your website really cool, minimal, and fast. Like I said, it's not just about SEO. Optimizing for web searches is not the only thing that matters.
Actually, I heard the sentence from one of our clients. Don't think about customers, is not important. Never give a shit about UX, but it's not the case actually. UX and SEO is so interconnected. We cannot divide them.
Well, and if you think about it too, I mean, well, if we think about core web vitals and the page experience factors that are going to be a ranking factor soon, Google's catching on to the fact that the person's experience on that site does matter towards quality, is an indicator of a quality website. And us as SEOs have known that for a very long time. But now we can even see like the light bulb going off in Google's mind saying, oh yeah, this is a signal that this site is quality and better than the other sites. And so I'm glad that Google's kind of catching up. But I not to quote myself, but I said the other day, like, I kind of wish SEO would get rebranded to be PO, people optimization, because ultimately Google and Bing are the ones that are ranking your site, but they don't do business with you. They're not buying your products. They're not keeping your business alive and afloat and paying your bills. It's the people, it's your customers. And you have to have a solid UX. You have to have a great customer journey through your website, especially because, I mean, we're talking e-commerce today. So they're legitimately customers, right? They have to be able to flow through your site seamlessly and enjoy it. And otherwise they're never coming back and never buying anything. So it's like a UX is a business problem, not just a website problem sometimes.
Exactly. And that's actually what I wanted to share with you in this session. And we will go through Büşra, I guess.
Yeah, it's me. I'm talking about some content problems in e-commerce websites. I just found this yesterday from the deepest graveyard of Google. Whenever I try to find some e-commerce example for a specific keyword, I just start with 4th or 5th page of Google, and I can find the thing I'm looking for. So the most common thing we come across in e-commerce websites is the duplicate usage of content and metadata, meta titles and descriptions, and H1 titles, the heading tags. And they tend to keep it the same for hundreds of pages. Just imagine that, okay, maybe for 3 pages, it's not a problem, but just think that you have 100 products and you have 5 different color options for them. And you just decide to give them as different visuals, but with the same names and with the same data, metadata, and content. And it's a really big problem because we have a lot of duplicate bodies and we have a lot of pages giving the same signal to Google. So if you want to increase the visibility of our products, our e-commerce websites, not for the big ones, big guys or big girls, but I'm talking about a medium e-commerce website here. Actually, we should give them thought about our product descriptions and our product names, titles. So we should try to differentiate between them. And actually, Christina Azarenko says this is a really great diagram of Christina Azarenko also for e-commerce SEO. You should ask these questions before creating different pages for different product color alternatives. You will be able to provide unique content, both in terms of product descriptions and meta titles and descriptions, then fine, you are free to go and do that. But if you don't have any power on that, you shouldn't do it. You should solve your color alternative problem with different options without creating any URLs like JavaScript options. And it's a really common best practice in many of the websites around the world today. People tend to do that for color options, for not the color, what the size options, etc. They do it, and it's a really good best practice. And if you don't do it, and if you're stubborn about it, maybe you should consider about some. And if you don't have any money, because I know content is money, writing content is an expensive thing too, because people are writing really good stuff to help your conversion rates. And if you don't have any money, maybe you can think about some content generation, starting with simple formulas for meta titles and descriptions, with the information on your product page, and maybe you can continue with your product descriptions with the help of Python. Actually, if you have the structure in your mind, okay, I'm going to use this keyword, I'm going to use this color, I can generate content with it. And that's the moment you can talk with one of your developers with a formulation. You can just do it on an Excel file and work with your developer. Actually, there was a really good content generation presentations from Women in Tech SEO event last month. Maybe I can share it with you too, about this content, to dive into content generation deeper.
Do anyone remember IKEA's creative idea with product names?
I don't remember. Oh my God.
Actually, they did a great job. It's not about SEO. Like, they didn't include SEO meta titles. They actually included non-searchable, or how to say that, low search volume keywords into the titles.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people started to share that. So it's actually somehow PR, but at the same time, it's really creative, because you are a big brand, you are trying to do something really cool, and it was great, really. So color, size, it's cool, but for small or medium website. But if you are a big site, you can test something to make people to share that. If you are an e-commerce website, there is a chance to have not just backlinks, but people start to communicate on Twitter, on LinkedIn. So it's not backlink, but they are talking about your brand. They share your image, they share your products, etc. All right, it's details, but it's not the topic here.
I came across a really interesting, actually this is related to this slide, I can mention it later. So another content problem in an e-commerce website is using product descriptions from manufacturers. So it's a really big problem. If you're a big guy, if you're a big website like Amazon, it may not be a big problem, maybe, but I'm saying maybe. I'm not saying it won't be a problem, but sometimes if you want to have a better visibility, you should consider creating different content on your page instead of copying and pasting your manufacturer's explanation about a product. That's why many of the big e-commerce websites in Turkey tend to use them as screenshots, I guess, but they're also theme pages. That's another problem, but they're trying to solve it with the help of customer reviews, the theme content problem with the help of customer reviews. So of course, customer reviews is another important part of the e-commerce process, because you cannot buy something online without reading any review. Any of you did that before? I didn't. It's not logical. And actually, I just saw an interesting suggestion from, I don't want to say it, but it's a little bit tricky suggestion from Neil Patel. He was just suggesting that we should, if you don't use any content, you should, and if you have a lot of content, you should consider giving them no index meta text to your product pages. But it's a really crazy suggestion. I never tried that, but I just think that it's crazy, and I wanted to share it with you guys and Diana. It's a really interesting perception. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on resellers? So people that are e-commerce businesses that do get their products from a manufacturer, like a car dealership. So a Toyota is going to have, a Toyota Camry is going to have the same description that it would on Toyota's website, or, you know, whether it's Toyota's website or like the Texas dealership's website, the Toyota Corolla's description is the same. So how can resellers differentiate their content outside of reviews? Like, how can they differentiate their content if they are legitimately, you know, reselling these kind of same products? Because I worked in an industry like this, so I'm curious your thoughts about it.
Maybe I can say.
Yeah,
you say, Roman, and after that I can say.
Right. So you are content queen. I will leave my words after that. The one trick here, if it's legitimate content, if they can change that, it's totally normal. But that kind of context is really long, maybe long. So instead of add like a text, they can create an image, and this image could be added to the product page. So this is an image. This is not a duplicate content with another pages, internal pages, or outsourced pages. So they can use like an image, this content. They will include in the image, and image will be added to the description section. Büşra, if you have something to add.
Actually, I have two things in my mind, because I've just recently seen that there are so much second-hand dealership mobile apps in Turkey, but not for cars, for clothes. Closet. It's also called closet, something like closet in English, if you translate it. I have two suggestions here. They can try creating tables or lists out of that long content, summarizing everything about it. If they want to try some unique content, they can try summarizing and rewriting from that explanation via tables or lists or simple explanations. That's one of the solutions. And I had another solution, but I just forgot about it. I just think so fast. I just thought so fast. Okay, I remember that. It's actually derived from the idea of Roman, the IKEA idea of Roman. I was just thinking about it. If you're a second-hand dealership, if you're a second-hand dealership's website, you can just look for that long tail features in the path opportunities you just mentioned a few minutes ago for different products. And if I have less products, a few products maybe to sell on that website, I can just try to find that opportunities, and I will try to rewrite the content with adding all of the opportunity keywords and optimize the content like that. And I just publish it on my website as a product information page. That's the second thing I would do, actually. But if you have a lot of products, if you have lots of products, I know it's not a best practice, but we can solve it somehow. Picture image is another good solution. I just see it everywhere.
Right.
Actually, this endless URL parameters eating your crawl budget thing is related to your clean URL stuff, Roman. So when we open a website, we have a lot of different filters, URL parameters like product size, product type, product info, color, etc., etc. It goes on like that. And if you don't know any knowledge, or if you don't know anyone with the knowledge of SEO, you may just come across a website with more than 200,000 URLs crawled on their website. And when you just deep dive into it and just look into the information, you may just realize that there's only 400 pages out of that 200,000 pages, and the other pages are actually URL parameters, and they're not disallowed from robot.txt file. Or there are other best practices also one can comment about it. So you should not leave that your URL parameters, your filters out there into the space and forget about them. You should actually fix your canonical URLs. You should enter the necessary robot.txt rules, and because it's eating up your crawl budget, and you have more important pages to be crawled by Google than your filtering pages. I was going to say something bad, so I just stopped here. Actually, actually, this is from a website, one of a client website. They had like 100,000 pages, and we just solved the problem. But later, they decided to make another 2 different filtering mechanism, and they did not inform us about them. And we just so unexpectedly detect them, and we solved them again. But it's a really big problem in terms of crawling.
Definitely.
So, welcome to my e-commerce world, and I will talk about these category pages in the e-commerce website. And in some e-commerce websites, like category pages, sometimes they totally ignored these category pages, especially on a website that use content management systems such as WooCommerce. And these meta description fields in the category pages is always empty, and they because the CMS didn't put any meta description here, because they are not bringing it from the take it from the content. And also these website owners or marketers or software developers is not writing something in the meta description field in the category pages. And there's an example here. There were keywords such as like 3G LTE antenna, like these IoT keywords for our brands. And actually here, and maybe I can give an example here. Like, if you are updating your products in the website, and if you are selecting the category, and these category pages is always updating, and if you are adding something new, and if you wanna be visible, these category pages on the SERP, you need to optimize it if you are adding something new in the meta description. And it's depends on how many new item in there is in category page. And here actually there was 3G LTE antenna or 4G LTE antenna. This is the keywords of from our tracking traffic from these keywords, this IoT e-commerce website. And I noticed that there is no 5G LTE antenna, this keyword in this category page. And this is the new one, and this 5G trend is has more volume than 3G. And I suggest that like we can optimize this meta description, because 3G is not searching anymore, and maybe we can put category page description 5G, and because its trend is more the search volume is more in the 5G, and after change that is almost we can say like almost 2 times our impressions increased. Okay, maybe this is not impression is not too much, it's like 900, like not 900 and 1,430. Maybe this impression is not too much, but we can say that like this is an important benefit for us, because this area we serve is very niche, because IoT is, as you know, everyone is not like how can I say, like focusing these IoT things. Everyone doesn't have a hobby for IoT, because it's a niche sector, and also is a B2B sector. That's impression is very important for us, and also like conversion rate is higher than other e-commerce website. So this is the actually benefit for us. We need to always optimize our category pages, because we are always adding new products to our website, and we are always changing our category pages. And in this beautiful study is by Redico, and Redico, the core web vitals values of like 500 e-commerce websites, which are, we can say, like very important, or we can say like flagship of US market. And they were analyzed that. And as you see here, cumulative layout sheet metric, and also I mentioned before a lot, lots of websites, especially news and media and e-commerce, they are really bad in this metric. And also most websites are stuck, and there are also like very bad performing e-commerce website in the largest contentful paint sectors. And in fact, there are like common mistakes we encounter in the different sectors. Like for example, there are fashion e-commerce websites. They are always attach importance to video content. You know, they are always, if they saw any space in the website, okay, maybe we can put video here because, you know, it's cool fashion videos and so fancy maybe. And they are putting always video and like because of due to their marketing strategy. But this used video content causes the enormous network payloads, and it affects actually affects our time to interactive. Also, if you are putting on the first painting area, also SEP metric will be badly affected in this fashion industry. And they are always using this content, but it doesn't mean always don't use video content on your website. Of course, you can use, because that's your you need to make your website, your design more attractive. But you don't need to put like every page if it's affects in bad way in your core web vitals. And another problem is that product images are loaded like higher size than the space they occupy in the website, and thus our loading time is quite prolonged. And in addition, like shift occur in the layout because they don't put or write any dimensions in the image also. And another problem is also like creating a description field, like product pages, by using images instead of text. You know, there's like they are describing everything on the image in the description area. And like I can say that like they are preparing a website on the Photoshop, and this image, they are putting these images in the description area. That's amazing. That's amazing. I really noticed that maybe some in cosmetic websites. And also, like for example, we have a cosmetic product, and it contains hyaluronic acid, but both Googlebot will not able to see it because, okay, maybe you can write it on the alt text in the image, but also Googlebot don't maybe read it. Also, this image size will have huge size, like maybe 1 megabyte or 2 megabyte, because it's really like, as I said, it's huge area. And another problem is the like server quality, because especially in SMEs, they are using some shared servers, and this also affects our time to first byte, and it also affects another our core web vitals metrics. If you are creating a website in the e-commerce, and if you are getting more and more customers, you need to always change your server quality, and you need to make some optimize in positive way, because if you are making a campaign in paid area, or if you are getting more customer, probably this server will not answer them so fast. Maybe sometimes like also customers will encounter with 500 errors. So we need to, every time we need to analyze our server quality and also our time to first byte and optimize it, because it's always connected to another metrics.
Great.
And since e-commerce website also have like local strategies, you know, okay, I have a store on the browser, on the website, but I have also store in the local site, in the outside, and they sometimes they can have their stores, and maybe if you are selling some cosmetic, something like special, they have pharmacy pages on their websites, and they are creating sometimes like a separate page for each store page and maybe each their pharmacy page, and their creation of many pages negatively affect our crawl budget, because they have lots of stores maybe in the outside, like maybe in Los Angeles, California, etc., and they have lots of options, and they have lots of also like stores in the cities, and they have page for them, and also like they have lots of pagination pages, and it's also affect our crawl budget, because these pages is not so attractive for users. Like probably no one will search it from Google, and you won't track any position or track any traffic from there. And because of that, you don't need these pages. Just you can make it just like you can put a dynamic JavaScript there. Like you can select a city from here, and you can select a district there, and you can serve your stores in this city and in this district. What customers have the options in this district. So you don't need to create each page for every stores. So you can optimize your crawl budget here.
All right. Thanks, Bishra and Adam. Here's the final part. I want to inform you that this presentation will be shared on the description section after this live stream. We'll bring them together. And if you want to ask us anything, we will add this link too in the description. And also, if you want to subscribe to this live stream and want to get notified every week on Monday regarding this videos, you can subscribe on boostras.com/video weekly SEO live stream. Yeah, that's it. So thank you very much for being with us, and Diana especially, thank you, because you are here. You bring with your time. It's very early in Texas. I really appreciate that. So you are out of this world.
Oh, thank you guys. I just want to commend you guys for what a great idea for a weekly video to recap and teach people something new every week. I think that's amazing. So kudos to you guys for that idea.
Thank you. As non-native English speakers, we are trying to do our best. It's a big challenge for us, actually. But that's it.
Great work.
Thank you very much,
You guys are doing
everyone.
great work.
So
bye-bye.
Have a nice weekend, everyone.
Have a nice weekend.